Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I wanted to watch LWW on his Shadow Demon and specifically pay attention to his warding. This is the position 5 player for Phoenix Gaming. He's actually rank 31 as a position 5 player, which is absolutely incredible. So we're going to watch his warding, take a look at the impact it has on the game, and then I'm going to talk about how you guys can implement these wards into your pubs as well. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the gameleap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the gameleap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Alright, so the first ward we're going to see comes out around the 5 minute mark here, and I think this ward is a really important understanding of the game state, the timer of the game, and then the heroes that he's playing against. On top of that, he understands what Medusa needs to make sure she doesn't die. So getting into the 5 minute mark, and especially all the way up till the 10 minute mark, is the most common period of time for the safe laner to get ganked. It's pretty easy to understand why. The off laner will hit level 6, the mid laner will hit level 6, and the reduced vision makes it easier to set up on the safe laner. And as a result, what we're going to see from LWW is he's going to put down a ward right about here, which is going to scout out Earth Spirit and Void Spirit rotations onto the Medusa. And this is very important because this is how the DP Medusa matchup works. As long as DP has some sort of a +1, you can easily bully the Medusa. If DP is level 6 and you have a stun, the Medusa dies. So this ward is going to be very important in the game, and we're going to see how it plays out later on as well. So funny enough, just to skip ahead to minute 6 so you guys can kind of see this come into play, it's not exactly what I talked about, but you'll see the gist, right? The DP hits level 6, DP is now going to dive the Medusa because this is always how this matchup plays out. Like, literally, I'm surprised the DP didn't ulti earlier, frankly. Maybe she would have been able to kill Medusa. Oh, she didn't have mana. Right, but either way, you're going to see they're now going to rotate up because they understand this is what you want to do. When you have a DP on your team against basically any safe laner, you want to gank on the DP6 timing because this is going to either guarantee a kill or at least a tower, optimally both. But the Deuce is able to get out, partially because of the ward, mostly because the Shadow Demon tanked the gank, which is also just a good play on his part. After this, he's now going to understand how the game is going to further develop. He's going to de-ward a mid-ward, which is, honestly, I don't even know how he knew it was there. I guess maybe it was because they dove the Doom earlier. But the next thing he does is he actually goes to this hill, scouts out a D-ward on this hill, and plants down a ward of his own. These words are so funny. What the... but yeah, the reason why this one is important and both teams actually now have or wanted to have a ward here is because this is, once again, how this game is going to play out. You might be asking, Speed, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is there's a Medusa, right? The Medusa is eventually going to farm triangle. They are most likely, I would say a 99% chance, to stack Ancients and stack camps for the Medusa as well. Even here, I'm surprised the Shadow Demon went bottom instead of stacking for the Medusa, right? Oh, wow, what a play. Okay, that's beautiful. All right, there you go. That's why he goes bottom instead. It sets up for a kill on the cart wave. Well, it's not a cart wave, but they still have this cart, and that's an incredible rotation. I really feel like LWW also understands like how you can be the ward. This sounds a little bit weird, but I'm sure a lot of position 5 players, if you're watching, some of you might understand this, but it's important to understand when you should implement this idea. And this idea is like, when do you bait? When do you tank the gank? You'll see a lot of pro teams doing this and adding this to their gameplay. Basically, when they don't want to fight, they'll use their supports as a barrier, right? So why wouldn't they want to fight right now? Well, they have a Medusa, their Doom is dead, line's not even close, and they just used Mars Arena, so they don't have anything, right? And so what is LWW going to do? He's going to understand that, okay, there's a good chance they're ganking here, right? There's a decent chance they're in this area. Why? They're not top, they're not mid, they just used Arena, and so, yeah, there's a decent chance they could be here. So he's going to end up tanking the gank, right? Whether or not it's intentional, it's impossible to know exactly, but you could see based on how Mars and the SD were playing, they clearly had a feeling something was up because neither of them was farming the bottom creep wave. So the next thing he does is very cheeky. He's going to head to the top side of the map when his entire team is bottom. And this is something that I like from support players. It's basically understanding when you're playing a hero like Winter Wyvern or Shadow Demon, and you're not the guy who needs to set up kills or is gonna, dictate the movements. You still can, you can still like shot call, but you're not the guy who's gonna like stun, right? You're not the guy who's gonna be the burst damage. You're kind of just like more of a team fighter. On these type of heroes, what you can do is you can kind of separate from your team a little bit. And I mean, you can do this on any hero, but it's most common on these type of heroes, right? You can separate a little bit. He's going to go in, he puts down a sentry, checks the hill with the shadow poison, so he knows this isn't warded. And now he's actually going to eventually decide to put down a hill ward here, right? And this is going to allow them to set up ganks. It's great because their team comp very much can set up smoke ganks. They have a Lion, a Doom, and a Mars. So it's very likely at some point in the game they'll be able to smoke into this area and catch the AM or the Void Spirit, who is most likely going to be playing here. And you can even see this ward scouts out the AM rotation. You can see he's drawing lines on the map here. He tells them that Void Spirit's running down to you guys, be careful. And so just with one good ward, he's able to scout out the majority of the rotations from the enemy team. And when you put down a ward like this, you also, it tells you a lot more than just like what AM and Void Spirit's doing. If you're good at the game, you'll also assume that, okay, the rest of the heroes are here. So we could potentially also dive them mid if we wanted to, or we need to fear a smoke gank into our triangle because they're not top, right? So it's always one of those things where you can learn so much about what certain rotations tell you. I have no idea why you went on AM there. Is this word going to get deworded now? Doesn't look like it. And there you go. It now is going to continue to scout out the rotations of the supports. They know they're heading back towards mid. The Void Spirit's heading off towards top, and AM is defensive. So yeah, it's just such a beast word there from LWW that if it stays up, could completely dictate the next 2 minutes of the game. And I'm not just saying that. And here's exactly what I'm talking about. Immediately it comes into play. I mean, not surprisingly, it's like, you know, if you're able to sneak up a word like this, it's just so game changing. You just have to be careful because often when you go for a ward like this, you'll run through a ward. So you can sometimes smoke to it. If the smokes aren't being used, you can smoke to get down a ward like this, or you can just kind of take the chance, right? Take the risk. You know, he even put sentries on his way there previously. He had one here to scout it out. So yeah, you definitely want to throw down a sentry or a couple sentries before you go for a deep ward like this. Either way, immediately look what happens, right? DP on the hillside, the Void Spirit and the Earth Spirit are scouted, rotating to top, and and there you go. Now they know what they're doing. It's like there's nothing else to say. It's like they know what they're doing. This line is obviously baiting. He unfortunately kind of gets he doesn't die. Nope, the Doom comes out. I think they catch the Earth Spirit. No, he gets out. But yeah, they kill the Void Spirit, and so it's just one of those plays where like that's only possible because of this deep ward. All right, another thing to understand is just simple lane or team fight wards during the nighttime. So anytime it's nighttime, what you really want to get is that you should just put down a ward wherever you're going to fight or wherever you think you're going to fight. So what he does here is he puts down a night ward mid. And basically the main reason why they're doing this as they scout out this observer ward mid. So unfortunately, I think their plans are kind of exposed. But the reason why they're doing this is they want to go for this mid tier 1 tower, right? They want to play for this area. They haven't for a while because they have a Doom Medusa draft. Right, they don't have a draft that wants to like siege mid tower. So at this point in the game, they're feeling pretty strong. Medusa now has her Manta. She has a Crystallis. The Mars is pretty strong. He's got his Blink. Doom has his BKB. They're ready to go. Right. And so when it hits nighttime, if you have a ward advantage, it's most likely that you're going to win the fight, right? Because this ward is going to tell you so much, right? Especially in the nighttime, you're going to see so much. So they now see the Earth Spirit and the DP rotating through mid. And that's why these mid to late game nighttime mid wards are so valuable. And you'll see pros constantly putting them down. Because, yeah, they just scout out so much. The majority of Dota matches rotate through mid, right? That's how it works. And so immediately we'll see it come into play here. The DP is showing, she walks up, gets gone on by Lion. Kind of a weird initiation by Lion, but she gets gone on, they take her out. Yep, simple as that. Simple, right? It's very simple, but it's very important to understand that these ideas are simple, but it's whether or not you're doing it on a consistent basis. You're telling your team what you're doing, and you understand what the purpose of these things are, so you can do it every game and not just occasionally. All right, the final ward or almost final ward we're going to see is another hill ward. So anytime you're fighting Roshan, feel free to put down hill wards. It's one of those objectives where you should sacrifice wards for the temporary vision. What I mean by that is hill wards will most likely get dewarded, but it's fine. If it's going to secure you a potential win at the Roshan pit, you should just put down the ward. So if you have the opportunity to ward here, just do it. You can use it to jump people if they come to deward it. It's just very valuable to do these type of things. So fight breaks out, and now, I mean, honestly, this ward isn't too great for this Roshan fight. I think he was putting it down just to kind of see if they were doing it or not, because it will kind of just give you vision of like DP spirits and things like that. So you'll see stuff if they're roshing, probably. And so yeah, that's what he does. It also scouts the AM rotation on the way out. But yeah, basically just another good engagement. Another good ward, another good understanding of why vision is so important for these fights. Alright, and finally for our actual last word of the video, he's going to put down a very basic heal ward. He draws a line on the map. He wants his team to be playing mid/bottom. Their last objective is this bottom tier 2 into a potential high ground. So he's going to go for a ward on the high ground here. Nothing too crazy to understand. Just if you're playing this bottom side of the map, he's just walking past the DP. This guy's crazy. But if you're just playing this bottom side of the map, right, it's important to put down wards like this. Once again, it's similar to the Roshan ward. It's most likely going to get dewarded. So you should only put down wards like this if either it's like 8 minutes into the game and no one checks the hill at that time, or if your team is actually going to play the area. And you might be like, Speed, I can't get my team to play areas. You just need to watch what they're doing, guys. If they're going bottom, you can put it down. If they're not, don't put it down. Like, just make it simple. All right, like, you might be like, oh, but they're not going to stay there. Look at what's happening here. The Lion and the Doom are going top, right? It's you can hold it as well, right? Depends on your hero. If you don't plan on holding it, then don't go here. Funny enough. All right, we'll end the video here. His previous wards actually end up scouting out this AM rotation as well. So, oh no, okay, it wasn't his ward. The Lion actually just put this down. But pretty cool ward. Once again, you can see how wards in the nighttime are particularly important. Hill wards in the nighttime dictate Dota. They really, really do. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the gameleap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.